making a Google Map search is pretty similar to making a Google search, meaning we insert a keyword and we have access to results. But the main difference is that on Google Maps, location is very accurate. See, each time I move a little, the URL changes. So here is the latitude, it's followed by the longitude, and it ends with the zoom level. And same thing as a normal Google search, the results are ranked depending on their relevance, from the most relevant to the least relevant. And the very first criteria indicating the relevance of a business is whether this business has been claimed by the owner. That's a piece of information we can get. See, on a Google Maps page, if it's written "claim this business," it simply means that this business has not been claimed yet. And that's a problem, because it implies that this company cannot update its information, cannot respond to reviews. In a nutshell, Google Maps has no interest giving this company a high rank. And the point is, surprisingly, there are a lot of companies which didn't make the effort in claiming their business. If we take a look at the restaurant in the United States, we see that there are around 566,000 results, more or less. But if I filter them and I only want to get those which claim their Google Maps listing, I've got 407,000 results only. It's maybe 70% more or less. Still, it means that 30% of companies didn't claim their business. And that's something they should do right away, because this is probably the most important ranking criteria on Google Maps. And to do that, they have to create a Google My Business account. First thing first, we go to google.com business. Once we are here, we click on the blue button Manage Now. See, I'm signed in. First, I insert my business name, scrap.io, and I click on Continue. I choose my business type. Do I get an online retail, meaning we don't really have a physical store? Do I have a local store? Or do I provide service business, meaning my business make visits to customers? In our case, we've got an online retail. You can pick up multiple options if you want to. Please note that once I click online retail, the following options will be slightly different than if I have selected another option, but still the principle remains the same. Don't worry too much about that. I click on next, I add my online store. I click on next and I add a business category. The business category is very important. We will talk about it later on. And we are a data recovery service. I click on next. Even though we are an online retail, we obviously have a physical address for administrative reasons. I insert my street address. I click on next. Is this your business? Apparently Google Maps have identified a couple of businesses which could be my business, but none of them are actually our business. So none of these. Next, I add my phone number, or to be more specific, the phone number of the company. Currently we have none, so I click on skip. Put your business on the maps. This is the part in which Google Maps makes its upsells, so you can subscribe to mailing lists, but you don't have to, so I click on continue. Now I have to verify my business. So to start verification, I enter my phone number, and I see you back once I verified it. So apparently it was not enough and they ask a business video. So for that moment, it's not really possible. We will verify it later. I add business hours because we are an online retail. We are opened every single day, 24/7. And I click on next. I add a business description. I don't have much thing to say about the description. Just don't use too much marketing. Try to remind the facts only. For example, if I type scrap.io, it is a company's name, but it is also a website. So if I click on next, it is an invalid value. But again, don't worry too much about it because you can still modify your description afterwards. I click on next. Add photos of your business. Picture. Wonderful. I click on next. Upsell. I skip, and your edits will be visible once you are verified. I click on continue, and it is over. In our case, the verification method is made through a video recording, but it's not always the case. It can be through a phone call or text message, through a mail sent to your address, through a live video call, and so on. Once we have created our Google business profile, the following step is to give as much information as possible. First, it gives us credibility, but it is also an important ranking factor. Furthermore, it is something that is easy to do, but that a lot of companies don't take the time to do it properly. For example, there are around 500,000 restaurants in the US. If we select only those with a website, a phone number, a Google My Business profile, and at least one photo, we only have access to 300,000 results, which is maybe like, I don't know, 70%. Regarding the SEO on Google Maps, we obviously have access to other criteria. A big one is the review rating. So it's not a big one regarding the SEO, technically speaking, but it is a big one regarding how likely a customer is willing to click on your detail page. Having a good rating attracts attention. We also have access to a bar chart, so it's from 2020. Maybe some things have changed by now. The top 3 of the local search ranking factor on Google Maps are the primary Google My Business category. As you have noticed when we created our Google business profile, we can insert a main category, but we can also have access to subcategories. So we can only insert one main category, but we can insert, I think, as many subcategories, secondary categories as possible. And usually what companies do is that they insert a short tail keyword for the main category, and they insert long tail keywords for secondary categories. An example of a short tail keyword on Google Maps is restaurant. Examples of long tail keywords are Hong Kong style fast food restaurant, Kyoto style Japanese restaurant, pay by weight restaurant, and so on. These options are much more specific. I think you get the difference. Short-term keywords are very short keywords, something very broad in which you can get a high volume, but on the other end there is also much more competition, and it is the other way around for long tail keywords. With at least 3 words each, they are much more specific, meaning that the volume is low, but there is also less competition, so you are much more likely to be ranked number 1. The second position is keywords in Google My Business title, the importance of keywords again, and the third is the proximity of address to the point of search, which is something we cannot really control. Finally, let's say a word regarding Google Maps ads. It's pretty similar to Google Ads, meaning that the sponsored results will be placed above the organic results. Can we know how many companies use Google Maps ads? Not really. However, we can know how many companies use ad pixel on their website. So it's not the same thing. In that case, it will show us how many companies spend some money in advertisements, but advertising in that case can be Facebook ads, Google ads, LinkedIn ads, all this kind of stuff, but it's not particularly Google Maps. Anyway, we know that we have around 130,000 results, which might be 20% maybe, between 20 and 25%. By the way, if you are interested in getting more information about the tool we have used throughout this video, you can take a look at scrap.io. Scrap.io is the ultimate tool for scraping Google Maps. By just entering a location and a category, you have access to all the information regarding your companies, including emails and social networks. By clicking the link in the description, you can get your first 100 leads free of charge. And if you have any questions regarding the tool, you can directly contact our customer support. This is the end of the video. I hope you have enjoyed it. If it's the case, you can give a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. There is nothing else to see. The end.